So if the title actually has anything to do with the video, this is really just me talking about the music I'm working on right now. Just some of my thoughts about it. It'll make more sense as the video goes on. Over the past few months, I've written 3 songs. As it stands, the titles are Caught in the Rain, Not Afraid, and 19. And the thing is, they all sound very much alike. I'm not gonna fully play all 3 songs right now, but eventually they will all be on my channel, so you will be able to listen to them. But I have things to say about this, so I'm going to say them because it's my channel. I can do what I want. I'm also like kind of freaking out because I have a chemistry test to submit by this weekend, and I've been studying for like 10 hours and stressing me out, and chemistry is hard. It's really interesting, but it's hard. I'm recording this to calm myself down, and it gives me a chance to practice guitar, and I can turn it into content. So 3 birds with 1 stone. So I guess that just like to lead into this, we're gonna talk about chords. I can only play a few, and when I say that, I mean that pretty much most chords, most commonly used chords I can play, except for bar chords. F has especially been, dear Lord, it's so terrible. A lot of the strings end up muted or not held down, which is why if I'm writing something and I'm like, ooh, an F chord will sound good here, I end up switching it to an F major 7th because it's easier, and I love dissonance, and if there's ever a chance for me to have dissonance, I'm going to go for it. Sometimes, you know, I be moving to play a chord and the chord doesn't play, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Having a capo definitely helped. I said that I play a lot of the same chords, but how about I actually show you like what I mean? Like for Caught in the Rain, the thing in the beginning, the progression in the beginning is C, E minor, A minor, F major 7th, which so good. Then we go to Not Afraid, and how does it go? C, E minor, A minor, F major 7th. Then when we go to 19, no capo. The chords in the beginning are C, E minor, A minor, and F minor. That's what I wrote. It might not be right, but it's fine. Obviously I have comfort chords. Like I move the capo around to kind of switch it up, but I just like the feel of C, E minor, A major, and F major 7th, because again, major 7th dissonance, but then if you're already in C, sometimes you can throw in C major just to, in addition to kind of just reusing the same like chord patterns. My strumming patterns are low-key non-existent, and I try to play a lot of different songs to diversify it, add something, but like it took me a month to figure out how to tap 2 rhythms at the same time. I'll be on Ultimate Guitar Tab or whatever the website is called, and I'm playing a song and it's like the strum pattern is 1, and it's like 1 and 2 and. It's not that, because that's not that hard to play, but it's just a lot. I haven't done sight reading in a bit, so the rhythms be throwing me for a loop, and then I kind of just lasp into the same. Into the same progression because it's just easier. You might be able to hear my dog barking. If you can, I'm getting better at doing more when I'm strumming, but since that's not really the focus of the songs I write when I'm playing guitar, like it's not really meant to wow you, it's just meant to exist, you know? It's not like my main concern, but I am trying to work on it. Anyways, the thing that set me off on this kind of, wait a minute, why do all my songs sound the same, was lyricism, because I was realizing that of the 3 songs I wrote, they each started with the word I'm. And then I was like, low key though, these first like verses sound the same. So I'm going to play like the first half of a verse from each one. We'll start with Caught in the Rain. I'm standing here all alone. The chill is setting in. I'm soaked to my bones. There's that one. We'll go on to Not Afraid. I'm not afraid that I'm not enough. I'm afraid of not being the one that you love. Then we'll go to 19. I'm 19 and where has the time gone? I'm 19 but I don't think I'm ready. Will I ever be ready? And so I was looking at these pieces I had written and I was like, it's weird. Yeah, each song is different. They each stand for something important, but they have a lot of similarities. Caught in the Rain is about being left behind to weather a storm that everyone was prepared for except for you. Specifically, it's about someone important to you, someone you care about, who you love, regardless of in what way you love them. Platonic, romantic, familial. That person kept you out of the loop and now you're stuck in the rain. SOL. Not Afraid is kind of similar, but it tells a different story. With this one, I kind of just wrote, I wrote what kind of sounded angsty or whatever and what rhymed, and then later on I thought about it and then I switched some things around to try and give it a story. But it's about a long-standing friendship that you have with someone. You have a strong relationship with someone and you love them in a way that they don't love you. Not this being a genius interview. Then we have 19. I wrote 19 because I was having an existential crisis about impending adulthood and change and growing up, and it feels like the entire last year of my life didn't happen, but at the same time it feels like it was speed running. Literally so much, and so much happened, and I learned so much about myself and about the world, and it's scary and it's terrifying and I just don't think I'm ready. So 19 was just kind of me voicing my fears, but also kind of having the acceptance in time waits for no one. It will continue to move on regardless of what I want, and just accepting that and turning the fear into hope. The things that I dread, I can turn those into things that I hope for the future. Hope for me to get better, stronger, be more stable in the future so that the fears will become unfounded. That type of thing. So, they're completely different songs. The first two, kind of the same, but like, no, but like, but they're different songs that just end up not being that different. And so I was saying all this to say, I think there is something to be said here about comfort, especially as a musician. I don't really write my songs to be like catchy earworms that make millions of dollars that, you know, they want to play over on the radio that you literally just can't get out of your head. That's not why I write them. I write them because it allows me to externalize my thoughts and feelings, to see them before me and pick them apart and understand what it means and work through them. I just like also make them sound good while I do this. Writing out my thoughts, having them in front of me does help, but that like takes a lot of time. And when I do that, it makes me feel things. And I don't feel like doing that. I don't have time to feel feelings. Toxic behavior, bad coping mechanism, but we're gonna roll with it. So in the meantime, I have my songs, and because there's no rhyme or reason or agenda that I'm trying to like get through with my songs, they just end up being comfort pieces, comfortable to write, to listen to reflect back on. I think they contain many similar elements to one another because at the end of the day, they're kind of my coping mechanism, and it's important that they have aspects to them that give me a sense of security and comfort while I'm writing them, because it helps me through times of strife. A lot of times I'll be reflecting on things I've written for the guitar or just any other pieces I've written over time, and they're little things here and there that make me go, oh, for sure, that's an Eva song. Like I know this is me. But you know, like how Megan has her and like we're like, oh, that's Megan. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that, but it's just like small little nuances in the things I write, the way I decide to harmonize things and layer voices, and the specific things that I'll ascend to or descend to, and how even if I have a lot of dissonance in there, it's always a very specific type of dissonance that I get back to, but I digress. Those things that make my music feel so uniquely me. It's kind of weird to like sit there and be like, oh, I did low-key spend like a bit of time on these songs and why they all sound the same, but it also helps me know that like this is me, you know? Sorry to be so heavy, that was a lot. If you haven't already pieced it together, I really love music. It's just as much a part of me as is my skin and bones and flesh and blood. It's as important to me as the air I breathe. If you know me, and if I've talked to you about the music I write and my practicing and all of that, I am so very grateful that the thing that I have a passion and a deep love for is something I'm talented at. I'm a pretty quick learner. I'm not a prodigy by any stance, but I can learn quickly if I care enough about it. And even though, you know, there's times where I'm like, wow, is this what I sound like? I can recognize that I'm actually pretty talented. I'm good at music. And there are a lot of people, and I'm not just saying this to be petty or mean, but there are a lot of people who love music and aren't good at it. And that is just the fact of the matter. I'm never going to tell anybody what they should or should not be doing, regardless of if they have a natural talent to it or not. I have a natural talent, a natural affinity for music, but I still need to work on it. And that keeps me somewhat humble. But at the same time, like, I am a god amongst men. I am so happy that this is my passion and that it is something that I can take with me wherever, whenever. I can always just hum something to myself. I can make something up on the spot. I can ad-lib when something comes on the radio. I ad-lib to like elevator music. Y'all don't want to mess with me. I ad-lib to instrumental. I'm supposed to be studying and I'm sitting over here writing a whole... Don't mess with me. And especially considering the fact that as it stands, I'm trying to pursue a career in STEM, in chemistry. That's what I'm majoring in. I can always still just, when the day is over, go and sit down and strum something out, play something out, open up GarageBand, or just open up a playlist and see where it takes me. And I think that that is amazing, that no matter what, I will always have my music. Thank you for joining me on this introspective as hell video. That is all for now, and until next time.